All right. Okay, so welcome everybody. And, whoever else can't make it, we're recording it so we can share the link with everybody. I'll just send it out as an announcement. So, everybody gets to be part of this. But it's nice to have you. You're aware of what happens in a short-term class is you're doing the same amount of work, but in half the time. So in our class, there's pretty much something due every single day. So I tried not to make anything due this week until Friday. And so I'm trying not to scare you too much, if that helps. Okay. So what I'm going to do is share my screen with you so we can walk through the class. Sound good?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to get rid of these little tiles for a second. Let's see if I can move them around because they're kind of in my way. All right, now I'll just reduce them. Okay, so as you see that hopefully everything feels pretty intuitive so far. I tend to be super duper organized, but if you kind of want to know, hey, where's my paycheck in this class? Everything you need to know is in this interactive course schedule. So although, yes, it'd be nice if you went through the home page, and keep in mind, sociology is about changing how you see the world, learning how to see it from more than just your the perspective you've been raised in all your life, see it from many different viewpoints, and to make a conscious decision of what's going to be your place in the world, what's going to be your role in the world. So this class is actually a journey of self-discovery. So I don't know, any other Superman fans out there? Yeah, I've loved Superman my entire life. So just letting you know, it's crazy how much I try and bring him up. Okay, so everything you need to know is where it says getting started. So you'll start here, general course navigation. These are screenshot instructions. I do realize a lot of people don't want to have to sit through a video just to know, hey, how do I do this or that? So anytime something's like just really practical, how do I do something? I just figure I put screenshot instructions instead. Course communication. The best way to communicate with me is through Canvas messaging because I have it on my phone. Have you all downloaded the Canvas app on your phones?
Yes.
It's really important that you do. Also download the Revel app. It's super duper helpful. You can even set notifications for yourself so you know when your assignments are due. The midterm study forum, you guys are creating your midterm. So is that exciting or what?
Yes.
Seriously, my classes usually get 100% on the midterm because you all are creating the midterm questions and you'll be posting them on this midterm study forum. And then the online cafe is a place where if you have general questions, you're trying to help each other out. Like, hey, I forgot, how do we do this or that or the other thing? Sometimes I'll post really fun videos on there. Just things I think you might find of interest. And of course, anytime you all want to meet, we don't have to meet as a group. I've met one-on-one with people in these Zoom office hours. So just let me know, hey, I really need something explained and let's jump on a Zoom. And then after this week, I'm going to get rid of this welcome tab and you're basically going to see what we call this week. And it will always show the date range. And these go directly into the modules. And helpful tip about navigating Canvas in general. A lot of times you're going to want to keep your what I call your navigation plane stable. So you don't lose your navigation plane. A really easy way to do it is if you hover over whatever link it is you want to open, right click and just say open a new tab. And that's just a really quick and easy way of getting through it. You'll notice each module to start with your learning objectives. In other words, what are your learning goals of the week? And pay attention to those because at the end of the week, you get a survey that asks you, how do you feel about those learning objectives? You feel like you really got them, you're not so sure, you need help, because I actually go through your survey results every single week. And I will reach out to you if you put I need help on something. And there's an optional comments area where you can give feedback, tell me what's working for you, what could be made better for you. So I really want your feedback because your feedback can make the class better for everybody. Your to-dos are going to be right there. And this is not indicative of every module. Let me actually go into the one for week 2 because it's a little bit more typical of what you're going to have. So you're noticing you've got, once again, your learning objectives, your to-dos for the week, along with your due dates. Anytime you see something bright blue like this, that means it's a hyperlink to that exact thing, which is kind of nice to know. It seems like the funniest thing is the hardest assignment for everybody has been the Sociology of Arts and Humanities essay. And all I'm asking you to do is choose an artistic object or performance or event and look at it from a sociological perspective. So what I did do is I put a lot of these examples in each of the modules so that you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. So for this example, I chose Imagine by John Lennon. It's a song, and you know, what theoretical paradigm are we using? What theorist in that paradigm are we using to look at that from a sociological perspective? And then you just need to talk about how it either reflects or inspires change in society. So we'll look a little bit more at that in a moment. And then you go through and you'll always see these fun spotlights. I try to make the spotlights something that's current and interesting for you. And then, of course, I always put a link to the Rebel quizzing. And so if I were to jump into that, it's not going to let me come in from this because it doesn't see me as a genuine student right now. So it's going to be really confused. But I'll show you how those will be navigated in my student account. You know, just some information about the subject that we're studying. Basically, your lecture, your full-on start-to-finish lectures actually in the textbook. And are you all aware you can listen to the textbook being read to you?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah.
This is my first online class, and I barely got the code, so I need to make like the little account to it.
Yeah, and that's, I'll show you in a moment how to do that. You'll notice the PowerPoint is here, so you can use that as you need, as you see fit. This little study outline and notes, some of you may find it helpful, some of you may not. So don't feel like you have to use these, okay? But for some people, the way they learn, they like to have these notes. And then after that, you'll usually, okay, it's already, it's because I'm in here as a fake student and it's not understanding what I'm trying to do. All right, so let's go back in here. Okay, maybe it's gonna make me leave the student view. Hang on a second. I just gotta leave the student view for a second. Okay. We'll go back in here. I'll show you some more stuff from a true student perspective. But I do want you to pay attention to, obviously, always check out the announcements. You can reply back to announcements if you'd like. Back on this homepage, by the way, I forgot to get to that one tab. I have a full listing of all your weekly modules right here. Okay, so for the entire 9-week term, everything is listed right here, as well as your downloadable version of your syllabus and your assignment schedule. And of course, you'll go through the announcements, walk yourself through the course syllabus. But this interactive course schedule is probably the most valuable button you have in the entire course. Because if you're wondering, what are the things I absolutely have to do? They're all going to be here in this interactive schedule. So once again, there's your navigation thing. The time management for this course is really important to remember. It's going to look super busy and it's going to scare you at first. Although I'm shocked I don't get more revolts from people. But even keep in mind, the total course should be about 162 hours you allocate to doing this one course. When I took the average time students tend to use to do each assignment, it comes down to 59 hours. Okay, so this is so totally doable. So even though things are broken up into small pieces, you really don't have a ton to do. Okay, so keep in mind you've got your downloadable assignment schedule here. This map of resources in Revel is very handy, as well as the theories and theorists are going to help you with that Sociology of Arts and Humanities essay. So yes, you're going to notice it looks like you have a lot to do, but keep in mind each thing you're doing is probably going to take you max 10 to 15 minutes. So even though there's a lot of little things, it's not a lot overall. The thing that's always going to take you the longest is Revel. So per chapter, on average, students take about an hour. Okay, and I mean that's both everything you're going to do in Revel for that one chapter. You're noticing that there is an arc of service and service learning in this course. So we discuss altruism, what does it mean to you? So you're going to discuss what's your definition of altruism, what are barriers to people acting altruistically, and what are solutions for overcoming those barriers. Also keep in mind every assignment will have a rubric included in it, which means here's your grading criteria. So always make sure that you look at that rubric. Let's look at this one, for example. Why is this not hyperlinking for me? This should be hyperlinking. I'm going to have to double check. Oh, you know what? I need to double check all my hyperlinks. Sorry about that. I'll do that right after our call today, okay? And so I'm just opening up one assignment. And of course, this is Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. But you'll notice that I post the entire rubric here, but it's also when you're doing the assignment, the rubric is built into Canvas, and I grade through that rubric. So just make sure if you're wanting to know, am I doing everything I need to do, just look at the rubric always. And that's always going to tell you how you're going to get graded. So I will finish hyperlinking all of those lovely things in there. You'll also notice that the more complex assignments I break up into parts, such as your community service learning. So the community service project would be 1 hour. I'm only asking you to donate 1 hour of your time to something or someone, okay? So I'd love it if it's an established community service organization, but if you want to make it a family friend or a family member, or just a friend of yours, it has to be a specific thing you're doing for that person that is really going to help them. Okay, and you're supposed to talk about how it's going to help, them help the rest of the world and so on. The group projects, try not to freak out. The group projects are really projects you could do on your own. You don't necessarily have to coordinate with somebody else. The very first one you're doing is you are assigned a chapter section. So let me go into that assignment for a second here. I'm going to just go to the assignments menu for now. Where I put those, I put them here. I did actually post the actual Canvas assignments as well, just so it's yet another way you could get to any of your assignments. And everything in here is in chronological order. You'll notice that the Canvas assignments are worth 70% of your grade, and the Revel is worth 30%. And Revel will always appear on the calendar as a date like this. So for this group presentation, not that one. That one's actually really easy. People like the documentary one. It's the first one that usually throws people and they get scared and they feel like they don't know what they're doing until the first group has already done theirs. But essentially, this is one of your more complicated assignments in that you're going to open up this document here. And that basically, I just did this yesterday for all of you. As you'll note that you are in groups. I've posted the people page so you can see what group you're in, but I've actually put your names right here on this assignment schedule. So these are the people that are responsible for this chapter and this section of that chapter. So all you're doing is reading one section of a chapter. And you're supposed to basically do a summary, talk about how it applies to this world, create a multiple choice question and a hint for the learner. And then what you do in your response is you're going to help two other people in your group. And it doesn't matter if they're doing your same section or a different section of that chapter. You're going to help them refine just the question and the hint. Don't worry about the summary and the analysis. You're just trying to help them refine that question and the hint. Then finally, you'll go back based on the hints you've gotten from your teammates. You're going to revise yours and you're going to post it on, and I need to change this wording here. It should be midterm study zone. I just changed that. So you're going to post it on the midterm study forum. So I will fix that and get that updated to you. Any questions about that?
No.
So you're basically creating your own midterm. Yay. And I even put together a submission template here. And people really like this because I'm trying to move your little bubbles around. All you have to do is download the template, fill it out, and copy and paste it into the submission. But you are submitting in a discussion forum, so keep in mind that you want to submit it first in the discussion forum, and then at the very end, you're going to do it in the midterm study forum. So that is one complicated assignment there. All right, so let's go back. And you're going to notice that you're not supposed to have shared writing, so I'm going to get that out of there, okay? So I will clean that up for you. I just copied this course over, seriously, like right before you guys got in. So there's some things I need to still fix in there. As you noticed, I was reposting all the assignment dates yesterday. So you're in these groups where you do these assignments. Anything that's bright blue like this is hyperlinked directly to whatever you have to do. You're also going to notice that the essay is broken up into several parts. So you're going to do Sociology of Arts and Humanities essay proposal, where you tell me what work of art or what performance or event you want to review. Once again, what type of art is it? What's the sociological perspective, the theorist, and does it reflect or inspire change in society? That's all you have to do for the proposal. It's super simple. It's basically like those demos I showed you that are going to be in each module. So I'll show you also other fun tips that you can get. And then you're going to do an essay inside of Revel where it gets auto-graded and it'll give you auto feedback for your writing. And what's nice is it'll give you actually help on how to write better. So I really encourage you to take advantage of the feedback that you get. It doesn't count as a lot in Revel, but it's enough to where it would hurt if you didn't do it. The main reason I'm having you do that is to get some initial feedback on your quality of writing. And as the semester goes, I get a little bit more, a little bit harder in my grading on writing quality. So just, keep in mind it's important to improve your writing quality. You're also going to either use the Tutor Center on campus, or you could use Smart Thinking in the navigation menu, which is an online tutor. And basically, you're going to send your rough draft to the tutor, get some feedback, and that will help you write the final version of your paper. The lifelong learning project, a lot of these projects are not, there's no right or wrong answer. These projects, for the most part, except for when you're reviewing the chapter and you're doing the chapter summary and creating exam questions, that I'd like you to be as accurate as you can be. But most of the other projects you're doing in Canvas are based on how do you feel? What do you think? So there really are not right and wrong answers. So try not to worry too much about that. A lot of what I want you to do in this class, just explore how you feel and what you think about the world. And we do have a climate change discussion forum, so that's kind of fun. Then you have a second group project on a documentary. The documentary is 5 minutes long. So keep in mind that you're going to choose your documentary. It's going to be up here somewhere where you're choosing your documentary. And I'll make sure that is really easy for you to find. It's inside the modules as well. But once you choose your documentary, I'll let you all know what documentary got chosen. And then what you're going to do is do a brief analysis of the documentary, talk about what you think of it, and then give comments on each other's documentary analysis. It's pretty simple. And then towards the end, why does this say 18 weeks? Because we're looking, I need to, I should have said week 9. I'm like, why does it suddenly say 18 weeks? I'll have to fix that too. This should say week 9, just so you know. So what this is you're noticing that I tried to get you out of the textbook as early as I could. I wanted to give you time to just focus on your project. So here's the last thing you're doing in Revel, and it's on families, so it's not too scary. And then you'll have your comprehensive final exam. So what I'll do is, on questions where I notice a whole class is struggling in Revel, I'll post those in the online cafe. And then I'll start to, after the midterm, I'll start to create a kind of a study guide for the final. And once again, they're going to be really general questions just to make sure you really understand what sociology is all about. Don't worry, I don't ask nitpicky questions about dates and things like that. So Try not to stress about either the midterm or the final. They don't even count that much as part of your grade. So don't stress, okay? So, and then your final week, you're going to be doing your two biggest projects. One is called Pay It Forward. That is your community service learning. And that's, once again, where you're just going to be writing up how you felt about what you did. Pretty simple. All in all, it should take you maybe an hour to do that. And then your final project is your e-portfolio and legacy reflection. And you can do your e-portfolio anywhere on any kind of online forum that you want. You just have to post the link here and write a reflection about your life. And you want to just basically think about the person you are today. What is your most likely life course? And then imagine you're at the end of your life looking back. What do you feel good about? What do you wish you could change? Okay. So the reason I'm encouraging you to do an e-portfolio, because you may or may not realize this, but it's the new thing for jobs and grad school to have an e-portfolio. It's one thing to have a resume, but what an e-portfolio does is it showcases all of your accomplishments. So basically your e-portfolio will be all of your projects from the class. So you're not necessarily creating anything over again. You're just archiving what you've already done. Does that sound doable?
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually, you'll notice this class, I try to make it really creative and fun. So just think about this as a fun journey of exploration. If you ever have questions about, hey, how do I do certain assignments? I have this assignments, tips, and examples page. And I often will ask, let me go into it I'm going to go into it as a student over here. There's obviously some stuff I still need to fix in the course. So the assignment tips and example, what I'll do is I'll put in little tips, but I'll also put in examples from what other students in previous semesters have done. And I have this little link to all my different arts and humanities analyses. So you can actually look at different topics for arts and humanities that I've, like here's one in power and politics. So once this ideas for, you know, what you could do for those activities. Another one I really want you to pay attention to in here will be the e-portfolio, because I think you're really going to like that. Let me see here. I just have to move these bubbles around because they're constantly in my way. Sorry, bubbles. Okay, so when you go to this one, I'm just having a little bit of problem navigating in here. Yeah, I'm going to have to get this so it's showing you better what we need you to do for that e-portfolio. But I do have some nice suggestions in there, and I'll make sure that it shows up correctly for you. But, you know, there's just a lot of nice suggestions for different websites you could use for your e-portfolio. Other than that, Revel's the other one. Okay, so this is your textbook. You do not need the print. You have a year to decide if you want that print. So don't feel like you have to get it. So when you're first signing up for Revel, it's going to ask you, like if you've never had a Revel account linked to Canvas, it'll ask you to create an account or link your current account. Once you've done that, it'll have you join the course. You don't need an invitation link. You don't need a course ID, nothing. It's going to recognize you automatically. You can go on temp access. I believe this fall their temp access is 28 days, but next spring it'll be back to 14 days. You can buy access online, or you can buy an access code in the bookstore and register it online. If you ever need help, if you download the Revel app and you go to account support, there's an 800 number right there. Of course, you see there's a link to support here. And once in a while, they may ask you to grab your diagnostics, and that's right there. But you'll go into Revel. And of course, you'll see I'm actually signed into my 18-week course in this Revel. As you're seeing, it looks just like the app looks if you've ever used Revel app. Any assignments are going to be here. And then, of course, the whole calendar of assignments is right here. Once in a blue moon, they will shift and come a little out of order, but it looks like that problem's been fixed for the most part. You'll also know that the full table of contents is here. So for those group assignments where you're reviewing a chapter section, so any chapter that I don't use, I believe I don't use, that you guys are going to be doing, I think is religion is one of them, and it's in here somewhere. And so basically, let's say you got assigned 14.2. That's all you have to read is 14.2, and you're going to do your analysis of just that one section. When you're in the Revel app or online, these little headphones, see, I could click on this button to listen to it being read to me, but that's only going to be that one page. But if I want to listen to it streaming endlessly, I click on the headphones and it will make it stream endlessly. Keep in mind that anything you need for your learning is embedded directly into the e-text. You could do highlights in up to 3 different colors. I may leave you highlights and notes. It depends on the time factor in life, to be honest with you. And note here that you have a notebook. If you do leave yourself highlights and notes, they'll appear here. And if you want to give yourself just a general note that's not linked to a particular chapter, you can create one there. You also have extra study tools beyond what's already in the Revel quizzing. So you can go into any of these and do the, play any of the games that you want. So you'll have 3 different types of assignments in Revel. So you're noticing this week the essay is due, and we already talked about that essay. The point of the essay is just to get that writing feedback mostly. I don't even care what you write about content-wise, honestly. I just want you to get the writing feedback. I think that's really important. You'll also notice that the first part of the chapter is in pieces, in sections, and each section has its own little mini quiz that goes with it. Each quiz will give you layered feedback. And then at the end of the week, or at the end of the chapter, because I've got to remember, you guys got really compressed here, you have an end of chapter quiz. And when you go into that end of chapter quiz, oh, it's not available yet because it's available to me yet. So forgot that is, okay, so if I go into education, that's November 2nd. It won't let me in yet, but it will let me into this one. Okay, so I start the quiz. If I get it right the first time, I'm going to get all the points for the quiz. If I don't, I lose a point for each incorrect guess, and I get feedback that helps me figure out what the right answer is. So I highly encourage you, use the feedback. Don't just randomly guess, because every time you randomly guess, you're losing a point for each incorrect answer. How Revel is also helpful, it's helpful for you figuring out how to write a good multiple choice question with a good hint. So really model on these questions and these hints when you write your own multiple choice question and hint. Okay. Then the only other type of assignment, actually you don't have that other type of, there is one bonus you guys got from being in a compressed class, is there is a 3rd type of assignments I would have given you in Revel, but I'm not giving it to you guys because you guys are doing way too much already in too short a time. Okay. So that is pretty much that. That's pretty much the whole tour of the whole class. Any questions on anything?
We're able to work ahead over the weekend in the class, right?
Yeah, so because you guys are in a shorter class, normally I only have classes work 1 week ahead, but I know you guys have way less time, so I make it so you could work up to 2 weeks ahead. So you could work in the current week you're in plus 2 weeks forward if you want to.
Oh, okay.
And those weekly surveys don't have any cutoff time. Oh, and you also saw that I know it takes people a while to get started in an online environment because you're getting used to me, you're getting used to your schedule, you're getting used to Canvas and Revel. So with all my classes, I give them a grace period. So your grace period lasts until November 2nd. That means you can turn anything in late without any questions until November 2nd. And in fact, everything is already preset to allow you to do that. After that, if you need to turn something in late, you need to talk to me about it. because it needs to be a pretty legit reason that you're turning it in late. Okay?
Quick question.
Yeah.
Will that be the same way for week 4, 5, and 6 as well?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Will that be the same way for week 4, 5, and 6? Like all work will be due week 6, or?
No, this is just for the beginning of the class because it takes people
Okay.
sometimes a while to get the rhythm of the class.
Okay.
So I like to give you guys kind of a grace period. So this is giving you the first 3 weeks to turn anything in late without any questions asked.
So this will be your only kind of grace period, just the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, but after that, just communicate with me. If you fight for you, I'll fight for you. Does that make sense? If you communicate with me and say, hey, I'm having a really hard time, like I'm having a baby right now, I mean, Michael, you might not be doing that, but your wife might be or something, So life happens, and I totally get that. I just need you to communicate with me, and I'll work with you.
Okay.
Oh, here's the button I wanted to show you guys. It's the ePortfolio info button. Oh, that was the one I was looking for. I was like, where is it? I made you guys such a nice page. So doing that ePortfolio, I just wanted you to notice that there are all sorts of different ePortfolio systems you can use, or you could just do it straight up in Canvas. So I didn't know if you are aware of it, but Canvas has its own ePortfolio function under your account, and you will go to ePortfolios and just create one there. Create and follow the prompts. It's super easy. But I did want you to know that. And then what I also did was, because I know that you don't all have, because I have everything timed to release out 3 weeks, 2 weeks in advance of the next 2 weeks. So if you're thinking, hey, I just want to get a head start on all of my assignments, whether or not I can actually turn them in, all the assignment instructions are right here on PDFs. So if you're one of those people you like working ahead, go for it. Okay? You just can't turn it in until it's available. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And once again, keep in mind, when you look at, these are the most complicated assignments of the entire course. So here you're introducing yourself. These 3, you're talking about altruism. This one, you're doing that analysis of that chapter section, not the whole chapter, just the section. This one, you're talking about how do you feel about climate change. This one, you're watching a 5-minute documentary and, basically telling us what you think. Summary, what I think, and comment on 2 other people's. Lifelong Learning Project is essentially asking you how you feel about learning. Because I really believe that if you look at little children, they love learning. That if you get to a point in your life where you somehow don't love learning, something happened along the way. So that project is essentially getting you to think about that and talk about it. Sociology of Arts essay literally only needs to be 500 words. So I'm thinking 2 pages. So don't stress about that. And then of course your pay it forward. That needs to at least be on like a PowerPoint, something visual, like a PowerPoint, or do a video, whatever you want to do. And you're basically going to talk about that 1 hour you gave to either a community service organization or a family member or a friend to do something specific to help them. So when you think about all of these things, none of them are actually that time consuming or difficult. They're meant to be enjoyable. And I just want you to know that that's all there for you. Okay. And if you do need help with your writing, I've posted the Purdue OWL link here for you. And here's your Smart Thinking tutor services. So if you don't want to go on campus, you can just submit your rough draft online to them. And other things right here. Well, there's a little bit of info about me here. And I decided to post a couple more personal pictures. So here, this is my family. That's the hubby. And these are my 2 sons. There's this son's wife and this son's girlfriend. And my background is in music. So here's a shot of me singing in a Mozart opera. So that way you feel like you know me a little bit more. And I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you on your introduction discussion forum. So questions, concerns? So just so you know, it's shocking that in my surveys, none of the students think they need to have less work. I look at the course and I think it looks busy. Seriously, I do think it looks busy.
It does look busy.
But everything is just a little thing. So nothing is overwhelming. So I hope you realize that. And no one's ever said I should cut down on assignments.
Oh, okay.
So you might be the first class to say that.
I know.
But do keep in mind that you have a compressed class. So you're doing twice as much every week as a regular class is doing.
Okay.
Okay?
You don't teach any classes in person, do you, at the college?
No, I didn't because I was traveling so much. I used to teach in person at Modesto Junior College and Natalone in Fremont, but I just teach online right now.
Oh, okay.
But any ideas you guys ever have for how to make the course better, I would love any suggestions. Like if you're taking a killer awesome online class from somebody else and you have some suggestions of things I can do, please share. I would love that. Okay. You guys feeling good about this? Are you feeling scared, uneasy?
So basically it's just interactive course schedule. Anything that's due, it's those blue things in there.
Yeah, seriously. And I got to go and fix some stuff I just realized because I'm still doctoring it up from when I transferred the class over. And also, as you notice, all the classes do operate through the modules. So you could just jump straight to modules. But just so you know, right here, all of these jump straight into modules.
Okay.
So you could go into modules either way. You could just go to the modules page, or you can go into the modules from the home page, and you'll go through each page. So you'll notice the biggest to-dos are inside of Revel and, outside of the Canvas assignments. And I do put those links right there.
Okay.
Okay. And the only one, the documentary one is, I'll put a link to the Choose Your Documentary because I have a little survey that has you look at the list of documentaries. They're all 5 minutes long, so nothing's going to be big and scary. So I would choose based on topic, what topic looks most interesting to you. And so you're going to get to that module where it says Choose Your Documentary, and that's what you're going to do.
Okay.
Okay.
And then for our presentations, are we going to be doing them like this in a video thing, or just from here on, it's just going to be everything online?
Actually, in most of the assignments, I ask you to post an image or a video that helps you express what you're trying to say. But actually, the two things that are called your projects or presentations, neither of them are going to require you to put in a video or an image, because basically one is you're reviewing a chapter and creating an exam question. The other one, you're just reviewing the documentary you watched. Where you get a lot more visual are your final two projects. So keep in mind on the interactive schedule, which I will label properly as week 9, you're going to notice that, I'm in, which course am I in right now? Hang on a second. Oh, I went to my 18 weeks. Sorry, guys. Let me come back into this one. Okay, when you go to the interactive course schedule, you're going to notice that the most creative projects you're going to do, where you might want to create a video, you're welcome to create a video if you'd like, are going to be in the final week, where you're going to do your Pay It Forward, which is you're presenting what you did for community service learning, and your e-portfolio is basically your link to your e-portfolio. And do take a look at other e-portfolios, because it's a really nice thing to create for future job opportunities.
I'll be texting at night.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So if we decide to use a PowerPoint for the Pay It Forward project, do we do it with audio too, or do you just want a PowerPoint?
No, you could just post a regular PowerPoint. I just want it to at least be visual. But if
Okay.
you want to get more creative, if you want to turn it into a video, or if you want to do audio over the PowerPoint, just make sure you mention that it's got audio attached.
Okay.
And then how do we do the video?
You could do one with your phone. Seriously.
Oh, okay.
It could be as basic as you want it to be, or as fancy as you want it to be. So what I think would be really cool is to get a little video of you actually help the organization you're helping or the person you're helping. To me, that would be really awesome. But that's not required to do that. It's just required to at least have a PowerPoint.
Okay.
Okay.
Just be as creative as you'd like to be. So just
And then, sorry,
okay. So I
on
just
some,
remind you that Rebel is kind of where you're really making sure you're understanding what is sociology, what is the content of sociology. The stuff you're doing in Canvas, for the most part, is you're talking about feelings and opinions and thoughts and viewpoints. So keep in mind, most of the stuff you're going to be doing in Canvas doesn't have a right or wrong answer to it. But
on some of the assignments that are due on here, I clicked on them and they say that they're not available for me or they're unauthorized.
yeah,
Like I don't have permission.
I'm going to go through and recheck that, and if you, I'll take care of that this afternoon, okay? But do keep in mind that assignments only are available 3 weeks.
Is a syllabus quiz that's available?
Syllabus quiz should be available, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And another place to go, so the interactive course schedule, I like this just because it pulls everything together in one place. But another place, so this is the first time I'm experimenting with making the assignments tab available to students. You could just straight up go into the assignments tab and do everything. And in the assignments tab is where it will tell you when it's available, when it becomes available, when it's available, how long it's available, and so on.
Oh, okay.
So if you want those answers about when is something going to be available for me, it's in the assignments tab that you'll be able to see all that stuff.
Okay, thank you.
And if I look at it from the student view, let's see if I can do it just so I could show you what it really should look like for you guys. Okay, so if I go to the assignments tab now, I'm going to move this out of my way. Okay, basically, it's showing me that my Canvas is show by type. Show by type is an easier way to see it because I already put them in according to due dates. Show by date, what does that do? Sorry. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay, so show by date shows everything that's due as it becomes due. That's pretty cool, actually, because anytime you see something that's just a date, that means that's a Rebel assignment. Okay? And I did enable the external tool link, so it will hyperlink out to the launch page. Oh, I'm in the student's view, and so it won't let me do that. So if you go by show by date, it's going to put everything in the exact order in which things are due. If you go show by type, it's going to remind you that 70% of your grade comes from Canvas assignments, which are also in order, FYI, and 30% will come from Rebel, which are also in order. So that assignments page is pretty cool, actually. So it's my first time letting you guys see all that. And then for groups, because you guys were wondering, like, which group am I in? You go over here to the group button. It should tell you which group you're in. Right now, it's still, when you're looking at it from an instructor view, it's a little bit crazy because it's showing me how many students are in each group. But you guys will be able to open up and see, which group you're in. And it will also tell you which group you're in from the home page. Because over here, it'll have not only a to-do menu, but it will, at some point here in a real student view, tell you what group you're in. And also, keep in mind, there's 2 more things I want to show you about Canvas. Move this over here. You have the Canvas calendar. I didn't know if you were aware of this, where you can tell what assignments you have due when. So you go through the calendar, everything's going to show up for you. I believe you can also specify which, group of assignments you see. But also, if you ever have problems, okay, so problems in Revel, go through the app, go to account support, call the 800 number. In Canvas, if you have problems, go to the help button, and there is an 800 number right here. And they are super helpful. I called them on a Sunday, and they picked right up and were very helpful. So I just want to ask you all one question about the orientation itself. As you saw in the welcome letter, I originally said it was going to be on campus, and that's how I typically do orientations. But I'm noticing a lot more people showed up for an online orientation than an on-campus orientation. So do you feel like this online orientation is a lot more convenient?
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll do that from now on. Instead of an on-campus orientation, just do an online. So, okay. Questions? Concerns?
No.
Mm-mm.
No?
Will you have Zooms every so often, or do you?
You just
Yeah,
tell
so-
me when you want one, and I'll launch one.
Oh, okay.
So I can do one-on-one Zooms with you. I sometimes have people do that. We can do a group Zoom if you ever want to. I don't know if you have other friends that are in class. If you request a Zoom, I can always put an email out to everybody and just say, hey guys, we're going to do a Zoom at this day and time. You want to join? So we could do it however you'd like.
Okay.
So you just let
In
me
case something comes up, I figure if something common is an issue for everyone, then maybe you might have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you sometimes I'll get questions about the, the first group presentation. Sometimes I'll get it about something else. So yeah, anytime.
Okay.
Okay.
And then what would you like us to call you?
You call me whatever you want. I'll sign things on Akira, but you just, whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay.
Okay. So I see other babies in there. I'm excited to see all your babies.
Mhm.
Okay. Anything else? No, I'm here whenever you need me. I really want to do anything I can to help you be successful. And like I said, if you fight for you, I'll fight for you. But you will notice that I will periodically reach out to you. With my current class, I do that every 3 weeks. With you guys, I might do it a little bit more frequently just because you have a lot more to do. But, I'll look for, if it looks like you're, anytime you're under the 70% threshold in either Revel or in Canvas, I will reach out to you periodically to see if you need something.
Okay.
Okay. So any questions about using Revel?
No.
No.
Okay, it's easy. It's a really easy product. And I seriously try listening to it. It's awesome because, I review whatever chapter you guys are in when I'm driving. And so it's a good way of getting familiar with it. Okay, well, I think we're good then. And then I will send out the recording from today in case anybody wants to listen to it or review it. Sound good?
Yes.
Sounds good.
All right. I'm excited about getting to know you guys. And I know it's going to feel hectic because it's only 9 weeks, but we can do this.
Okay, I'll put my camera back on because I had a hair issue.
And by the way, research shows that these compressed class formats actually work. People tend to be more successful.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
We're in this together. You guys can do this. Okay.
All right. Well, nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you all. And you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
We're in the basket.
Bye-bye.